what did I want to talk about this time? So this time I want to talk about this concept of a spectrum disorder. So autism and ADHD are both spectrum disorders, and a lot of people think that that's, we're all on the spectrum somewhere, as if it's somewhere from black to white and we're all on shades of grey and green. So we're all a little bit autistic, we're a little bit ADHD, and some of us are just more than others. That's not actually what is meant by a spectrum disorder. So what's meant by a spectrum disorder, think of it a bit more like a wheel with lots of different spokes, and different people who have that disorder express different bits of that disorder to different extents. So with ADHD, the classic things are hyperactivity, inattention and impulsivity. But there are more bits to that. There's executive dysfunction, which is that prefrontal cortex, frontal lobe, initiating, making decisions, that sort of thing. Within hyperactivity, you've got external hyperactivity, running around, being busy, jiggling all the time, but you've also got internal hyperactivity, busy thoughts, mind buzzing with ideas, buzzing with thoughts, flitting from idea to idea. You know, I've had it described as having too many tabs open, but all the time, not just on occasions, it's just all the time. And so within the disorder, some people might be very good at executive functioning, but be needing to run around and be doing stuff and jiggling and fiddling and tapping their pens and, you know, being very hyperactive, whereas somebody else with ADHD might be able to sit and read a book. So me, for example, I can sit and read a book for hours, and I can sit quite still for hours. But try and get me to do a number of tasks in a logical order, in an organised way, unless it's very urgent or it's very important or there's some impetus behind it, I'll find it very hard to do all of those things. And I will do them in a haphazard way and do a little bit of this job and a little bit of that job and get distracted and forget that I made a cup of tea and be halfway through hanging up the washing when I remember something else and go downstairs and start that and then get distracted by something else and start doing that, and 4 hours later find the washing basket full of damp washing and half hung up. So not being able to finish any of those tasks. So I suppose what I'm saying is, within that spectrum, different people will appear differently. And so the old trope of when you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person, because everyone is different. So that's what we mean by spectrum disorder. That unlike with, say, a chest infection, people generally present with shortness of breath, coughing up green gunk, temperature, feeling very unwell. Spectrum disorder, people might present very differently, but with the same condition. So, back to this idea that, but we're all a little bit ADHD, we're all a little bit autistic. I'm just going to clear the screen because I can see it's kind of fuzzy. Hold on. I don't know whether that's any better or not, but there we go. Yes, we all have some traits. We all wander into a room sometimes and forget why we went in there. But you're not doing it all the time, every day in, day out, multiple times an hour, let alone a day. It's not impacting you, it's not causing you a problem, apart from in that moment when you walked into the room and what I'm coming here for. Okay, so because it's not having a major impact on your ability to live your life, be part of your family, and so on, it doesn't, that impact means that it's not an issue for you. And so we all have some moments when we have autistic traits or ADHD traits, but they're not there all the time. And that's not the same as having autism or ADHD. Okay, I'll talk to you next time.